welcome everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday evening. First link I set up, I hit something on my phone and it screwed it up and don't know what happened, but I had to redo it. So hopefully now it is better. We shall see. A couple things I wanted to go over before the game starts, some administrative things to talk about, and some personal things I wanted to talk about as well. Let me check and make sure focus looks like it's all right, I guess, in there. As many of you know, back in May, back in the month of May, May 21st to be exact, so almost 3 months to the day, we had to put our dog Gracie down because she was, arthritic and getting really sick and just not much going on. Well, this morning, we had to put down our cat, Elizabeth. Not Tabby, but the other cat, Elizabeth. So Tabby's a little bit out of sorts. We started the year with 3 animals. Now we're down to 1. So Tabby is been a little nudgy with me, and she's right here next to me, sitting on the computer laptop case. And hello there, RJL and Ben. Yeah, she was more my wife's cat than my cat, but I still... I was the one that took her down there to do it, and she just hadn't eaten. She just, I think she had problems with her kidneys because she was not eating and drinking. She hasn't eaten and drank anything since the weekend, and she was losing weight very, very rapidly. And we just figured she was about 12 or 13 years old, so about a year older than Tabby. So rather than make them, suffer, we just figured that was the best thing to do. All right, got that out of the way. Let's see. Maybe I need to bring this up a little more. Maybe. And this up a little more. Second thing I wanted to bring up. There was a gentleman who watches the channel and was very gracious enough. He wanted to help me with this project. So he printed out extra players for me so that I don't have to go to the PC and do it myself, and they don't look very good when they do it that way anyway. His name is Joel, and I'll show you a couple of the ones he printed out. These are his printed extra players, and to me they look really sharp. I mean, certainly a whole lot better than, and my live stream's probably not doing them justice because I don't get as good quality as I do when I record. But anyway, I mean, those cards look very nice. He's got the 1-loss record. He's got the whip. He's got everything on here. Of course, nothing on the back because it's just, advanced and super advanced, but a whole lot better than the cards I would print out for myself. So I'm very much appreciative to Joel for doing that. He sent them to me, and not only did he send me the cards, which I knew he was going to send, but as a bonus, he also sent team envelopes, and then put mine to shame. You can see here he's got where they finished in the division. He's even got the ballpark effects sitting down here. So very, very impressive. Now, a couple of the, and I know what happened. I imagine I know what happened to him on this. A couple of the managers on the new envelopes he sent me are wrong. So I got a feeling, like when I update these boards, sometimes I forget to change something. So he's got a couple of managers which are incorrect, but I don't care. It's fine the way it is. Like I said, I really enjoy these cards. And, as I can say, Buddy Biancalana never looked so good. So. "10 runs? No, I don't think. One Strat, 6 runs, you're tired. So, I believe it's 5 in 1 inning and 6 over a couple of innings. So, no, I definitely would not do that. I'd get him out of there before that, but. Yeah, the Strat computer cards definitely stink, at least my version of the printout of those. But these are much, much better. Now, another suggestion I had from Utah Mike was instead of showing the box scores, or not the box scores, the score sheets of the games from this date that I've already played, why not set it up like an out-of-town scoreboard? So that's what I'm going to try to do. Don't know how well this will come across, but anyway. These are the games that are being played tonight along with this game. Texas is at Baltimore, Mike Mason against Ken Dixon. Boston is at Milwaukee, Jeff Sellers against Mike Birkbeck. New York is at Detroit, Bob Tewksbury and Walt Terrell. Cleveland's at Toronto, Phil Niekro against Joe Johnson. Oakland's at Minnesota, Chris Cotaroli against Mark Portugal. And Seattle is at California, Scott Bankhead against Don Sutton. And what I'll do is every 3 innings, I'll give an update of the score after 3 innings of all those games. Kind of like an out-of-town scoreboard. I don't know. I'm going to try and see how it goes. It may not go that well, but that was just a suggestion that Utah Mike did, so I said I would try it. Yes, you're correct. Mason-Dixon line, absolutely. We got the Kansas City Royal colored dice, since the Royals are the home team. One roster thing here for the White Sox, and I know RJL is going to be in tears about this, but Harold Baines is on the disabled list. He will not come back until May 8th. He played opening day, and that's the only game he played, and he's out until May 8th. So you won't see Harold Baines until May 8th in this replay because he was injured. At least I assume he was injured because he played the one game, didn't come back till April 8th. So I'm assuming he got injured in some form or fashion. I know he didn't get sent to the minors or anything, so that's the way it is there. All right, starting pitcher matchups. For the White Sox, Jose DeLeon and ID Jester's favorite, Mark Gubicza for the Royals. The pitcher-catcher quotient for hold and arm. +2 is the factor on Chicago when the Royals are on the base paths. We add 2 to their chances. Royals, it's a 0. Ballpark effect, singles are 1 to 11 for both lefties and righties, and home runs are 1 to 3 for both lefties and righties. Yep, it is a 24-man roster, absolutely. White Sox have 14 batters and 10 pitchers, and the Royals have 15 batters and 9 pitchers. So Royals carrying 1 extra batter, White Sox carrying 1 extra pitcher, although that's not reflected in the bullpen there. So that's what I've got going on right now. Like I said, Tabby is sitting here next to me. She's quiet. She's been kind of stoic all day. I did take the day off to do what I had to do with Elizabeth, and then Tabby was just, it's been rainy, messy all day, and Tabby just was kind of like my shadow the entire day. So hoping that doing this will get us back in the swing of things. I thought about recording this, and I said, no, let me go ahead and try it live and see how it goes, and we'll see what happens. All right, so finishing up the warm-up tosses is Mark Gubicza, and Gary Redus will be the leadoff man for the White Sox. And let me see if I don't want to get too much closer to that because I'll lose the peripherals, I think. See if I can get a little bit closer, but I don't want to get too close because I'm afraid I won't catch everything. Let's see. Maybe it's all right. We'll try it this way. Try and get as close to the cards as I can without messing anything up. So we shall try it. All right, so Gubicza against Gary Redus. And by the way, the White Sox are 2-0. They've beaten the Royals twice. And the Royals looking to avoid the sweep, hoping that Gubicza can do the trick. Gubicza now 2-4. 2-4 for Redus is a fly to left field. That's 1 away. And I don't have the ratings written in here because I was going to play it as a recording and have the computer thing up. But I still can have the computer thing up in the background and just reference it if I need it. So that's what I will do. I'm not going to try to score it while we're playing. That will take way too long to do that. So we're just going to bring up the screen so I have the ratings should I need them. At one click I can get the ratings. Okay, we're ready. Redus flies to left. Here's Donnie Hill, second baseman. It's a 4-5 switch hitter batting left-handed as a fly to center field. So Gubicza off to a good start. 2 quick outs, and that brings up Greg Walker. A little early to give out stats for the players. They have only played 2 games, so the stats are kind of meaningless right now. But as we get going, I plan to give out stats as the game goes along. Gubicza 410 for Walker, left-handed. 410's a ballpark single check. It's 1 to 11, but that's a 16, so that's going to be a fly to center field to end the inning. So nothing doing for the White Sox. They come away empty-handed in the first. And we go to the bottom of the first. It's the White Sox nothing, and the Royals coming to bat. And Jose DeLeon on the mound facing Willie Wilson. It'll be Wilson, Seitzer, and Tartable for the... Hello, Thomas. How you doing? Hello, Brian B. Dav, if I missed you. Ben, if I missed you. DeLeon, 212. Switch hitter Wilson, 212 against the righty. He's going to foul out to the catcher. One away. And I'm not going to bother Tabby because she's, like I said, she's kind of in a somber mood with everything that's gone on. So she's, she's kind of not in a very happy mood right now. Here is DeLeon. 4-5, right-handed. That's a strikeout. Sights are out on strikes. That'll bring up Tandy Tartable. 4-12, right-handed ground ball back to the pitcher DeLeon. It's a 1-2-3 inning as well for Kansas City. They get nothing to like it. At the end of one, no score here on April the 9th. This is game number 21 of 1,000 and so many, but it is game number 21. After this, all teams will have had played 3 games, and we will be moving series, and there'll be new matchups to deal with. April 10th, the game on the video will be California at Oakland. California will be at Oakland. Dave Stewart gets his first start for the A's in that one. So here now is Ron Hassey. He is the designated hitter in this game. White Sox carrying 3 catchers. They got Fisk, Karkovice, and Hassey. And Hassey is the DH in this game. Gubicza 6-8 to the left-hander. 1-10 is a single, but that's a 14. He's going to line it to second base. And there's one away. So one down for Ivan Calderon. 1-5, and Calderon 1-18 is a home run. That's a 15. That is long, and the ballpark will not hold it. Even spacious Royal Stadium will not hold it. 1-5 is a 1-18 home run, 19-20 triple. That's a 15. And Ivan Calderon has put the White Sox in the lead 1-0 as the White Sox try to improve to 3-0, which would be really something if they can sweep the Royals on the road to open the season. Here is Darryl, please come to Boston. And Gubicza trying to shake off that home run, does a Suidice. Try again, 6-3, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. So again, the defense, E12 for Gubicza, but his range is not listed on the card. It's actually a 1, according to this, to the computer rather. So he's a 1 E12, so we know he's going to get to it. With nobody on base, you don't have to worry about the 1 part. We're looking at the E12 for a pitcher. E12, he's got to avoid 3, 6, 12, 15, and 18. That's a 9. It's a good play. So Gubicza will make the play for out number 2. And it's going to send up Tim Hewlett. Gubicza 2-5 to Hewlett, ground ball to short. Biancalana is there. The inning's over, but the White Sox pick up a run on the home run from Calderon and lead it 1-0. DeLeon back out. We'll be facing George Brett. Be Brett, White, and Bo Jackson for the Royals against DeLeon. 4-10 against a left-hander. 1-14 is an in-home run chance. That's a 20, though, so it's a fly to right field. Brett couldn't quite get it out of there, and Calderon hauls it in for out number 1. Here is Frank White, the venerable Frank White. 2-9, and that's a 1-19 single, but that's a 20. Boy, usually the 1s come up all the time. Now it's twice in a row. A 20 has come up and taken a hit away. 1-19 would have been a single, but a 20 is a line out to short. That is out number 2. So 2 down. Make sure I didn't mess up the focus when I was doing the chart there. Hopefully I did not. So let's see about sweeping off that little camera. Maybe there's a smudge on the lens or something. I don't know. All right, here's Bo Knows. 5-12, and that's a fly to center. So 6 up and 6 down go the Royals against Jose DeLeon. He right now is out pitching Gubicza. After 2 complete, it's 1-0. And that'll bring up Ozzie Guillen. Guillen, Karkovice, and Reedus do up. 2-5, and that's going to be a line out to first base. That'll bring up Karkovice. Not a very good hitter, but excellent defender. 3-9, and he's going to strike out. Out number 2 for Gary Reedus. Reedus flew to left his first chance. 2-8, he's going to ground to Biancalana, and it's another 1-2-3 inning in the books. We go to the bottom of the third, and the out-of-town scoreboard will be coming up at the end of this half inning. So you can catch up on the action from the other games of this evening. Jose DeLeon coming out will face the bottom portion of the order. Steve Bye-Bye Balboni, Larry Owen, and Buddy Biancalana. 1-6, and that is a strikeout. So Bye-Bye goes bye-bye with the strikeout. 1 down, and here's Larry Owen. 1-7, that's another strikeout. So Owen is out of there, and here's Biancalana with that bright card from Joel that really, really is impressive. I don't know how he does it, what program he uses, but it looks really good. A lot better than the crap I had trying to print out. DeLeon 1-6, and that's a strikeout. So he strikes out the side of DeLeon. And at the end of 3, it is Chicago 1 and the Royals nothing. Chicago 1 and the Royals nothing. All right, out of town scoreboard we go. Try to cover up as much as I can on this and not give anything away. So at the end of 3, it is Texas 3 and Baltimore 2. Again, that is Mason against Dixon in the Mason-Dixon line game. In Milwaukee, the Brewers are pounding the Red Sox 7-0. Paul Molitor with several hits in that game already. Just in 3 innings, I believe he's got 3 hits already. New York and Detroit is the Tigers 3 and the Yankees 1 after 3. Cleveland, Toronto. Cleveland's jumped all over Toronto 4-0. Jumping on Joe Johnson early. Necro pitching a shutout through 3 innings, but it's a long way to go. Oakland and Minnesota. Oakland had a 3-0 lead after 2, but then Minnesota came back. Kent Hrbek, I believe, had a 3-run homer in this game in the 3rd inning to make it 4-3 in favor of the Twins. And finally, Seattle and California are tied at 2 apiece through 3 innings. And that is your out-of-town scoreboard. We'll check again in the 6th inning and see how everybody is doing. All right, Gubicza back out. We'll be facing Donnie Hill. Gubicza and DeLeon both have 7 as their fatigue factor, so they're still, got lots of juice left in them. Gubicza 4-3, switch hitter batting left, is a fly ball left field X. That happens to be Bo Jackson. Does Bo know how to play left field? He's a 4E14, so we'll see if he knows how to play left field. 4 and a 4 is probably going to drop in. Almost assuredly it's going to drop in. Oops, wrong chart. Let's get the right chart out here. 4 and a 14. Actually, no, 4 and a 14 is going to be an F2, so he will get to it. I take it back. I'm sorry, it's 4 and a 4, not 4 and a 14. 4 and a 4 is a double. That's what I thought. It's a double. He's an E14. He's got to avoid 3, 6, 12, and 14, and 17. And that is an 11, so he's okay there, but it's going to drop in for a double for Donnie Hill as Bo was unable to get there. Leadoff double for Donnie Hill. He's in scoring position. We haven't had to have many. This will be the first Havoc roll to use because nobody's reached base except for the home run. So this will be the first Havoc roll of the game for Gubicza, and that's a 1. So getting Gubicza's wild pitch rating. Let's get his wild pitch and balk rating and write that in. His wild pitch rating is a 13. His balk rating is a 2. So he's a 13 and a 2. So a wild pitch of 13 and he will uncork one. And he does. So wild pitch is going to send him to third base. So Donnie Hill takes third base on the wild pitch. And now the Royals have to decide if they want to play the infield in or infield back. They're already down 1-0, but there is no one out. So do you want to try to give a big inning thinking you can come back and score some runs? Or do you want to really try to cut the run off? Boy, tough call. They're going to play back. Gubicza 5-3 to the left-hander is a ground ball first base C. And so that will score the run. All Seitzer could do is pick it up and flip it to Gubicza covering, and it's now 2-0 White Sox. But now the bases are cleared, and they're hoping just to make it a one-run inning and not give up a crooked number. Here's Ron Hassey. 3-6 for Hassey, and that is a 1-3 single. But that's a 19, so he's going to line it to second base. 2 down. And that'll bring up Calderon. Calderon, of course, homered his first time up in the first inning. And I forgot to look on his numbers. Let's see here. That's his first home run of the season, so had not homered yet. Gubicza 4-5, right-handed, is a fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. So had they played in, they would have cut the run off, but had they played in and they got a plus sign, that might have been a big inning. So you're kind of in a perplexed situation there. It was early in the game still, so still lots of time to score runs. But it's 2-0 in favor of the White Sox. But the Royals better get busy. They need to get busy for sure. Now, while I'm at this, let me go ahead and get the wild pitch rating for DeLeon as well. Let me do this real quick so I can get to the bottom half of the inning. Go and load this into the computer for the top of the first. That'll get me to the bottom of the first, obviously. All right, now DeLeon. So 4E21. And he's a wild pitch of 6 and a balk of 2. So wild pitch of 6, balk of 2. So now we don't have to worry about it. If we roll in that situation with DeLeon, we'll have it. Like I said, unfortunately, the 87 cards did not come with that. So Ron, there's a couple different programs out there, I'm sure. Replay Gamer sent me something to print the envelopes on, but I'm not sure what Joel used to print his. His are a lot more fancy than mine. All right, here's Willie Wilson. 5. I just use Word, but it's the way you do it in Word. Let's see, 5-8. 5-8, switch hitter batting left. 5-8 is a strikeout. So DeLeon struck out 4 in a row, going back to the third inning. Here's Kevin Seitzer, 6-8, and that's a walk. So first base runner for the Royals in the ball game, it is Kevin Seitzer. He will have to be held because he's got the asterisk, and if you don't hold him, he's going to automatically get the lead. He won't try to go anywhere, but they will have to hold him on. And it gets the havoc roll for the first time for DeLeon, but nothing going on. DeLeon to Tartable, 4-7. That's a ground ball, second base X, and he is being held on, so the second baseman is in charge of holding the runner. So that's going to affect him. That's going to affect Donnie Hill. Hill is a 4E11. He becomes a 5E11 because he is responsible for holding the runner at first base with a right-hander at the plate. So he's a 5 at second base. But he gets a 20, so seems like instead of 1s coming up all the time, now 20s are coming up all the time. The 5 and a 20 is actually a G1. This could be a double play. He is an E11, and an E11 at second base. He's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18, basically. And he does. That's a 13. So he went to a 5, but he's still going to turn the double play to end the inning, 4-6-3, with that very fortuitous 20 on the D20. And the Royals aren't happy about it. But at the end of 4, it's still 2-0 favor the Sox. And now Gubicza back out. Hey Chuck, how you doing? All right, Gubicza, whatever you want to call him, if you're so inclined to do an ID gesture. Here's Daryl Boston. That's a 2-4 for Boston. He's going to ground it to first. Seitzer will take it to the bag himself. One down. Brings up Tim Hewlett. Hewlett grounded to Biancalana his first time up. That's a 5-7 right-handed. Ground ball second base X. That is Frank White. So let's see what Frank White's got going defensively. Frank White. Frank White is a 2-E11. So a 2-E11 for Frank White. 2 and 11, he'll get to that. E11. So 2-11 is actually a G1. And an E11, he's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18. That's the numbers to avoid. 15, 17, and 18. That's a 16. He got lucky. So nice play there by Frank White. Little bobble, but was able to get it to first in time to avoid the error. And there's 2 up and 2 down to start the 5th. And here is Ozzie Guillen. 5-4, and that is a fly to center. Put away by Willie Wilson. Another 1-2-3 inning. But Gubicza still trails 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Royals can't get the offense going for whatever reason. And they'll start out with the veteran George Brett, see what he could do. He flew to right his first chance. Did Mr. Brett. Hello, PFLQR. Nice to see you. DeLeon, 4-7 against the left-hander. That's a ground ball second base X. Again, it's Donnie Hill. He's a 4. We saw before he was a 4, E11. But he got a 20 last time, so he got lucky. 4 and a 10 may not be so lucky. Let's take a look. 4 and a 10. Actually, he will catch a break because he's not holding anybody on. There's nobody on base. That's a G3, which is good enough. And then the E11, he has to avoid 15, 17, and 18. Which he does. So nice play. Nice play by Donnie Hill. Takes care of George Brett. So Brett is retired, and that brings up Frank White. 4-5. Struck him out. So Frank White is out of there. 2 up and 2 down. Hello, Doug. And that brings up Mr. Bo. Bo knows. 3-10 for Bo, and that's a single to right field, and it breaks up the no-hitter. So DeLeon went 4 2/3 with a no-hitter, but Bo broke it up with a 3-10 result against right-handers, which is a single. So Bo's aboard, and he will be held. He's not going to try to steal. Bye-bye Balboni can tie the game with one swing of the bat. Six, though, he will strike out. That's going to end the inning, so nothing doing for the Royals. They get their first hit, but nothing else. We go to 6. It's still 2-0 White Sox here from Kansas City. And leading off will be Ron Karkovice. Ron Karkovice. 2-10 for Karkovice. He's going to fly to the left. 1 away. Flips the order to Reedus. He's 0 for 2. Gubicza 1-4 to Reedus. That's a 1-15 double. That's a 10. So we got a double for Gary Reedus. 1 out double. He will be held at second base. He runs very well. So they will have to hold him on for Donnie Hill, who doubled and scored his last time up. Gubicza to Hill. 5-2, ground ball pitcher B. 2 down, and I believe, let me double check it here, but I believe the runner holds, but we will wait and see. Infield back, runner on second, a ground ball B is a 6. If hit to first or second, the batter is out, runner advances, otherwise they hold. So since it was hit to the pitcher, they hold, which is what I suspected. That'll bring up Greg Walker in a clutch situation. Gubicza 6-7, ground ball, shortstop X. And shortstop is responsible for holding, so Biancalana is the one responsible for holding the runner. Unfortunately for the Royals. Biancalana. And this one is a computer-generated card from Joel that he sent me. So this one we do have the rating on Biancalana. He's a 3E88, but he becomes a 4E88 because he's holding the runner. So it's a 4E88. 4 and an 8 is most likely going to be a base hit. Almost certainly will. 4 and an 8 is a G3 pound, but if it's a pound and he's holding the runner, it turns into an SI2, so it will be a single that will score Gary Reedus to make it 3-0 White Sox. And now we got to check the E88, and that could be devastating. But really, according to this, an E88, it's just 9, 11, 12, 14, and 16. Whoops, blue die didn't go through. Let's try that again. Had my chart in the way too much. That is a 13. And on E88, there is no 13. There's a 9, 11, 12, 14, and 16. No 13. So it's no error, but it will be a single, RBI single from Greg Walker. And it's 3-0 White Sox. White Sox looking to sweep the series here in Kansas City to start the season. And really put a shocker on those Kansas City Royals. Here's Ron Hassey. Walker is not going to be held. That's a 6. Nothing going on there. Gubicza to Hassey. 5-8 to the left-hander. That's a trouble. 1 is a double. 2-20 is a single, 2 stars. So that's going to move the runner to the corners. Runners are at the corners with 2 outs for Ivan Calderon, who's already homered in this game. Gubicza could be on the brink of leaving this game. Too bad ID Jester's not here. He could use some karma. Gubicza. 3-6. And that's a walk to Calderon. It's going to load the bases. So now what do? You got the lefty coming up. Daryl Boston. They could go to the left-hander Bud Black because Gubicza is in trouble. He's not tired, but he has not been effective this inning at all. So the Royals are definitely contemplating going to Bud Black. He's the only lefty in the bullpen. But I think you got to make that move. So Gubicza is going to be lifted for Bud Black. He is the only lefty in the Royal bullpen. Bud painted black. He's going to come on. He was 8-6 with a 3.60 ERA, starter and reliever. Hold of +1. And Larry Owen is a -1, so it's a net 0. Same as Gubicza. But when it's 3-0, bases loaded, you're not worried about holding runners on. You're worried about getting outs. So Bud Black is going to be in there facing Daryl. Please come to Boston. With the bases loaded and 2 outs in a clutch situation, it's already 3-0. They don't want to make it any worse. Black to Boston. 2-7 against the left-hander. 1-2 is a single, but that's a 13. He's going to line it to second. And the inning is over. So the run comes in. And we go to the bottom of the 6th with the score. 3-0. And we can close the book on Gubicza. Gubicza is going to go 5 2/3 innings. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. 3 runs all earned. The 1 home run. Walks and strikeouts. He walked 1. That was Calderon. And he struck out Karkovice, and that was it. Just 1 strikeout. So not the best outing in the world for Mr. Gubicza. And now DeLeon out with a 3-0 lead. And we'll have the out-of-town scoreboard update at the end of this inning. Larry Owen, the batter. 6-7, and that's a walk. So Larry Owen draws a leadoff walk. Leadoff walk to Larry Owen. He's not going to go anywhere. Buddy Biancalana, the batter. And I'm still sticking to my rule that you have to we have to get to the 7th before we can do any kind of substitutions, unless there's an injury. So Biancalana has to hit. 3-11, and he's going to foul out to the catcher, Karkovice, for out number 1. 1 down, back to the top of the order, and Willie Wilson. Nothing on the havoc. Willie Wilson is 0 for 2. 1-6 for Wilson. He's going to fly to center. Is now 0 for 3. And the Royals' offense has just been very lethargic tonight. DeLeon's been in charge the whole time. Only giving up 1 hit. Here's Seitzer. 5-6, and that is a strikeout. So 6 innings of masterful pitching by Jose DeLeon. And we go to the 7th inning with the score. In fact, I'll do the scoreboard at the 7th inning stretch. It's probably a better idea to do it that way. We'll do it at the 7th inning stretch. How about that? Right here, it's 3-0 White Sox. And Bud Black is back out on the mound. He'll face Hewlett, Guillen, and Karkovice. Now, when the Royals come to bat, or the White Sox for that matter, substitutions are fair game. 6-8 to the right-hander. That's a 1-15 single, but that's a 20. It's going to line it to short. So, boy, instead of the 1 showing up a lot, 20 has shown up quite a bit in this game. So it's been the polar opposite. And now here's Guillen. He's 0 for 2. Lefty on lefty matchup, 5-7. Struck him out. 2 down for Karkovice, who's 0 for 2 as well. 6-6 to a right-hander is a fly out to right field, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there, but Black retiring all 4 he has faced to this point. And now we're ready to go the 7th inning stretch, and we'll have our scoreboard update, out-of-town scoreboard update as well. So let's look and see how things are progressing in the out-of-town scoreboard. When we left the Texas-Baltimore game, it was 3-2 Texas. Since that time, the Orioles have really got their hitting shoes on. Eddie Murray, a couple of home runs, and it is 8-4 now in favor of Baltimore in our after 6 innings. Milwaukee and Boston, still a bad score. They're 9-2, but at least the Red Sox have gotten on the board. Jim Rice has hit a home run to get them on the board. New York and Detroit, not much happening there. It's now just 3-2 as the Yankees try to creep closer to the Tigers. In Toronto, they have come back to tie the score against Cleveland. 2 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. We're tied at 4 after 6. And then Oakland, Minnesota. Minnesota had a 4-3 lead, but now Oakland has stormed back. Home runs from Mickey Tettleton and Jose Canseco. And the score is now 8-4 in favor of Oakland after 6 innings. And in California, the Seattle Mariners have jumped on Sutton and now have a 4-2 lead after 6 innings of play. And we'll give the final scores at the end of this game. That's where we are on the out-of-town scoreboard. All right, Jose DeLeon, this is his fatigue inning. And it'll be Tartable, Brett, and White. So you're not going to pinch hit for those guys, but certainly when you get down to Owen and Biancalana, the pinch hitting track is definitely in order. Floyd Rayford, I don't know if he's had any at-bats yet. I doubt that he has because I don't really feel like using him. I don't think I've used him yet in the 3 games, but I could be wrong. I might have to double check it. I don't think he has. He's the last man on the bench. DeLeon 6-4 to a right-hander, fly ball to center. DeLeon still dealing. Here's Brett. Brett 0 for 2. 0 for like most of the Royals. That's a 5-11, and that's a fly ball right field X. That's Calderon. So Ivan Calderon in right field. Calderon is a 3-E6. So a 3-E6 for Calderon in right field. As a right fielder and a 3, he has to get a 7 or higher to get to this. It's a 1. It's going to be a double. Will there be an error? He is an E6, and he's got to avoid 3, 4, 14, 17, and 18. That's 6, so he's okay there, but it will be a double. A double for George Brett. Second hit of the game as Calderon was unable to reach it. So Brett is aboard on the 1-out double. He will not be held. And Frank White is your batter. White is 0 for 2. 2-6 for Frank White. He's going to pop it up to short for out number 2. Ozzie Guillen is there. And now it's up to Bo Jackson in a clutch situation. One swing of the bat, he can get his team right back in the game. DeLeon to Jackson, he's 1 for 2. 6-5, he's going to fly to right. Calderon is there, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing. DeLeon still rolling 7 innings pitched. And he is carrying a 3-0 lead, so he's going to stay out there. He did not reach fatigue yet. He only gave up 1 hit on his point of weakness, so he will stay out there. Bud Black, same thing. He has faced 4 batters, hasn't given up anything, so he's going to stay out there to start the top of the 8th against Gary Reedus. Reedus doubled and scored his last time up. 3-8 against the left-hander. It's a 1-12 single. That's an 11, so it will be a base hit for Gary Reedus. He's going to have to be held. Let's see if he wants to try to get the lead. 2 through 6 will get him the lead. A 2 through 6. That is a 6, but it's a 1, so he could be picked off. When you get a 1 there, you can be picked off. His secondary rating is a 15. If we roll a 1 to 15, he gets back. 16 or higher, he's picked off. He gets back, but he can't get the jump now. So he's got to stay right where he is. I'm going to bring up Donnie Hill. 3-6 for Hill against the lefty is a single to right field. Clutch thing there, but nobody out. Nobody's in scoring position, so there's no clutch. Reedus to go from first to third. He runs at a 17. Being held makes him a 15. I'm sorry, being held makes him a 16. And then go from right field to third base. That's +2, gives him an 18. Right fielder arm. Let's see if I think that focus got out of whack here. Hold on. While I do my calculations here. 18, I believe it is. Depending on the outfielder arm tartable. So they may have to concede third base here. Tartable is a 0 arm. So it's a 1 to 18. If you don't get him, then the runner Hill goes to second base. So I think they're going to just concede third base to the speedy Reedus. And now you get runners on the corners with nobody out. And Greg Walker, the batter. Infield is going to have to come in. There's really no choice when you're down 3-0. And there is action in the Royal bullpen. They do have right-handed action in their bullpen. They have right-hander Dave Gumpert. Dave Gumpert, a right-hander, is in the bullpen, loosening. Black needs a strikeout in the worst way. Infield is in. Here's Greg Walker. Lefty on lefty. 6-6. A line out to second. That'll work because nobody advances. 1 away, and here's Ron Hassey. Now do the White Sox, I think, are going to pinch hit for Hassey and bring in a different DH. Somebody from the right-hand side. They don't want to use Fisk because they need a backup catcher. So they're going to go with Jerry Royster. Jerry Royster will pinch. I'm sorry, not Jerry Hairston. Jerry Royster. The wrong Jerry. Jerry Royster is your pinch hitter. And he will stay in the game as a DH. Royals could go to Gumpert here, but Black's a better pitcher, and they like their chances better with Black. So they're betting on the Black. Infield is still back. That's a 1, so it could be a wild pitch. So let's see what the wild pitch rating is for Mr. Bud Black. Let's get that information here. Bud Black, where are you? Bud Black. That's the only thing bad about this 87 set is they don't have these wild pitch and balk ratings on them. Where are you, Bud Black? Why can't I find it on here? Oh, it's a 0 balk and a 9 wild pitch. So it's a 9 wild pitch chance. And that's a 6, so it will be a wild pitch. He will wild pitch in a run. Because he did have a 9 wild pitch rating. So it's now 4-0. Now 4-0, favor of the White Sox. Runner at second. Infield back to normal for Jerry Royster, the pinch hitter. Black to Royster. 3-3 to the left hand against the left-handers. A fly ball to right field B. 2 down. And that'll bring up Calderon. And they will give Calderon a free pass and pitch to the left-hander Darryl Boston. White Sox aren't going to remove Boston because he's a good defender. They want his glove, so they're not going to pinch hit for him. 4-5, and that's a ground ball to second to end the inning. But a run comes in. It's now 4-0 White Sox as we go to the bottom of the 8th. That's going to be it for Bud Black. Close the book on Black. He goes 2 1/3. And we'll figure out what he did. 2 1/3. He gave up 1, 2. So he gave up 1 run and 2 hits. The run was earned. He walked 1. That was the intentional walk, and he got a strikeout. And Dave Gumpert will come in and pitch in the top of the 9th. For the White Sox, they do have some activity in their bullpen. They have left-hander, because both are left-handers. Neither one of them have pitched in the series yet. So they've got Joel McKeon, a lefty, and they got Ray Searage, a lefty. So Ray Searage is loosing in the bullpen, just in case. Ray Searage. But they're going to let DeLeon keep going. He's earned it. He's going to face Balboni and then some pinch hitters because they're not going to let Owen and Biancalana hit. They got to get offense in there. DeLeon, 1-4 to Balboni, and that's a straight-up home run for bye-bye Balboni. He finally sent one bye-bye. Bye-bye Balboni. Just cracked a home run. It's a solo shot, though, so it's only 4-1. But he did put a blast on it. 1-4 right-handed is that home run right there. So home run for Balboni. And now we're going to get some pinch hitters. Larry Owen and Biancalana will both be lifted for pinch hitters for the Royals. So they will go to their bench for some better hitters. At least what they assume are better hitters. So they're going to go to, for the catcher, they're going to go to Jamie Quirk, and he'll stay in the game to catch. Jamie Quirk will pinch hit, stay in the game to catch. Thad Bosley will hit for Biancalana. And then Angel Salazar will stay in the game to play shortstop in the 9th. They're going to use Quirk, Bosley, and Salazar coming up. So it's Quirk and Bosley back-to-back pinch hitters. And Searage is ready if they want to call on him, but they're going to give DeLeon a chance to see what he can do to finish out this inning. So it's Jamie Quirk. Jamie Quirk. Jamie Minute Quirk. 111 for Jamie Minute Quirk, and he pops to third. 1 down, so that didn't help his cause any. And now Thad Bosley will pinch hit for Biancalana. 5-9 against the left-hander. That's a 1-7. I'm sorry, 5-9 is a fly to center. My bad. So he flies to center for out number 2, and that's it for Bosley. He's done. And then now Willie Wilson will step to the plate. DeLeon, 3-12 to Wilson as a pop-up to second base, and that's going to end the inning. So the home run for Balboni is all they get. And we go to the 9th with the score. Chicago 4 and Kansas City 1. That is all for Jose DeLeon. He's going to go 8 innings, give up the 1 run, which was the home run. He gave up 1, 2, 3 hits. Just 3 hits. He walked 1, 2. And he struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Struck out 8. So quite the outing there for Mr. DeLeon. Now we go to the top of the 9th. It'll be Hewlett, Guillen, and Karkovice against right-hander Dave Gumpert. I need to get his card out. He's a computerized card as well. Dave Gumpert. 0-0 with 19 innings pitched, 27 hits allowed, 6 walks, 13 strikeouts, and ERA of 6.05. So Gumpert is on. Maybe Dave Forrest Gumpert. Maybe that could be a good nickname for him. Forrest Gumpert. He'll be facing Hewlett. A 4-1 game. 2-7 for Hewlett. Struck him out. Hewlett out on strikes. Here's Guillen. Guillen 1-7, and that is a 1-17 single. So it's a base hit for Guillen, his first hit of the game. He will have to be held, as he has the asterisk there. Hold for Gumpert, though, is a -4. So -4, and the new catcher is Quirk, who's a +1, so that's a -3. So if Guillen got the lead, it'd be a 1-13. So I think they're going to hold him there. And here's Karkovice. Again, not good offensively, but very good defensively. 3-4 for Karkovice as a ground ball shortstop, and that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. So Gumpert goes his 1 inning, and he's going to give up a hit, nothing else. He gets a strikeout. Mr. Gumpert, Mr. Forrest Gumpert. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Royals. And the new pitcher for the White Sox. It is a save situation. It's going to be Seitzer, Tartable, and Brett. 2 righties and a lefty. So I think they're going to pull Searage back. And let's see who them I want to go to instead. They are going to turn to. Go to see who's pitched. Make sure somebody hasn't pitched too much. I want to check their pitching and see if how much these guys have pitched so far. Yeah, Thickpen has got 2 saves already, so he has to rest today. I'm not going to use Thickpen. James has only pitched once, so we're going with Bob the Car, please, James. So Bob James is coming on. Let's see what he can do. And for James, this will be his 2nd appearance. He's pitched 1 inning, gave up 3 runs. He didn't do very well. Got an ERA of 9, so he's looking to definitely, avenge that. Try to improve on those numbers immensely. So it is going to be James against Seitzer to start the bottom of the 9th of a 4-1 ball game. James to Seitzer. Seitzer is 0 for 2, a walk and 2 strikeouts. So 2nd appearance for Bob James. 5-3. That's a fly ball right field X. That is Calderon. He is a 4. And let's see, 4, and he's also he's a 3 E6. My bad, not a 4. He's a 3 E6. But it's a 1. That's bad news for Calderon. So a 3 and a 1 is a double for Seitzer. E6, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 14, 17, and 18. Which he does, but it's a leadoff double for Kevin Seitzer as Calderon was unable to get there. So Kevin Seitzer, a leadoff double. He will not be held. His run doesn't mean anything. So they will not hold him on. And here's Tartable. As Kansas City looks to rally here in the bottom of the 9th. James, a 1, which means he's got to be looking at potential double, wild pitch rather. So let's look at his wild pitch rating and see what he has going on the wild pitch side. Let's take a look here. Let's see what James has got here. Bob James is a wild pitch 11, balk 0. So he's got a wild pitch rating of 11. And it's a 1, so it will be a wild pitch. That will move him to 3rd base. Of course, the infield's back because his run doesn't mean anything. It only makes it 4-2. So James to Tartable. 312 for Tartable. That's a ballpark single check, which is 1 to an 11. That's a 6. It will be a base hit. RBI single. RBI single for Tartable. And now Ray Searage is thrown in the bullpen again for the White Sox in case you get down to some lefties that they might want to bring Searage in. But right now James has to try to get through this. Tartable will not be held, I don't believe. No, he will not be held. It's a 4-2 game. James now facing Brett. That's a 2-4. That's a ground ball second base A. It's a 4-6-3 double play, just what the doctor ordered. That definitely killed the rally. That 2-4 is a ground ball second base A. So now we're down to our final out. It is Frank White. He is 0 for 3. Do they pinch hit for Frank White? Why not? Might as well. They are going to go to Hal McRae off the bench. And Hal McRae has one of those computerized cards as well, as he didn't have very many at-bats and was not carded by Strat-O-Matic. So Frank White will be replaced as soon as I can find the card of... oh, here it is down here. I had him on the wrong spot. There's Hal McRae. Hal McRae, 313 hitter. So Hal McRae going to pinch hit for Mr. Frank White. White was 0 for 3, had nothing going on, so Hal McRae is going to give it a shot. Searage still in the bullpen just in case. Bases are clear, 2 outs. James, 4-9 to the right-hander, lines out to second, and there's your ball game. And unbelievably, the Chicago White Sox are now 3-0 as they have swept the 3-game series from the Royals in Kansas City. Winning pitcher Jose DeLeon, the save to Bob James, his first. DeLeon 1-0. Gubicza the loss, he goes to 0-1. James went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and a run, so it was a little shaky, but when you come in with a 3-run lead, that's the easiest save you can get. No walks, no strikeouts. So 2 runs and 5 hits for the Royals. 4 runs and 8 hits for the White Sox. I don't believe there was an error in the ball game. There was not. Home runs, Calderon his first, and home run Balboni his first. Those are the 2 home runs in the game. So the White Sox sweep the series here in Kansas City, and the Royals really have to do some soul searching here. All right, we go to the out-of-town scoreboard, and we'll see how things finished up in the American League on April the 9th. Baltimore held on to beat Texas 10-5. Ken Dixon the winner, 1-0. Mike Loyne the loser, 0-1. Home runs in the game, and there were a bunch. Home runs in the game. O'Brien is third, Sierra is first, Incavilla is first, Buechele is second, Murray hit his first and his second, Kennedy is third, and Lynn his second. That is the game in Baltimore. The Royals sweep the Red Sox, winning at 9-6. They gave up 4 runs late but held on. Birkbeck the winner, 1-0. Sellers the loss, 0-1. Basio his first save. Home runs in the game, Rice his first, Evans his second, and Yount his second. New York and Detroit win extra innings. Tigers fall to Detroit 5-3. Bob Shirley gets the win in relief. Mark Thurman takes the loss in relief, and Dave Righetti gets his first save. Tigers now 2-1. Yankees 2-1. Tigers 1-2, and there were no home runs in that game. A wild one, the wildest game of the night, was in Toronto, as it went 11 innings, and the Cleveland Indians get their first win, 14-13 over the Toronto Blue Jays. The Indians got 6 runs in the 7th, but then the Blue Jays countered with 8 runs in the 8th, and they both scored. I should have had 2 here. They both scored 2 in the 10th, and then the 11th, 2 versus a 1. Carlton gets the win. Dwayne Ward the loss. Waddell his first save. Toronto did have 4 errors in the game as well. Toronto 2-1 and Indians 1-2. Home runs in the game. Mel Hall hit his first and his second. Mosby hit his first. Cecil Fielder his first, and George Bell his second. So the Wild won there 14-13 in 11 innings. In Minnesota, the Oakland A's held on and beat the Twins 8-6. Chris Calderoli got the win. He's 1-0. Portugal lost 0-1. Jay Howe his first save. It was Oakland's first win. They improved to 1-2. Minnesota drops to 2-1. Home runs in the game. Mike Davis is first. He actually led off the game with a home run. Canseco is second, and Tettleton is first, and Kirby Puckett hit his second for the Twins. And the final game of the day, Seattle bested the California Angels 7-2. Scott Bankhead the winner. Don Sutton the loss. Ed Nunez his second save. Seattle now 2-1. California 1-2. Home runs in the game. Dixon is first. Kingery his first. Davis is first. And Brian Downing his second. So there's your wrap-up right there. There are the standings. But Chicago is in first place in the American League West at 3-0. Milwaukee's in first place in the East at 3-0. And everybody else is either 2-1, 1-2, except for Boston and Kansas City, who are 0-3. So, I don't know. I just wanted to try this little out-of-town scoreboard thing and see how it works out. It's a lot of work, so I may not go back to this because it's really slowing me down on the replay because I have to sit here and do all this instead of just, chomping through those games like I really like to do. So this might be a one-time thing. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. But anyway, Tabby is still sitting here nice and quiet. She hasn't moved. She's just resting. I don't want to change that fact, so I'm not going to disturb her. Like I said, she's kind of in a melancholy mood right now, based on the activities that have happened. So she's not going to probably be very energetic at the moment. But anyway, White Sox win it 4-2. Player of the game, boy, who did he give it to? Could give it to Reedus. He had a double and a single, 2 runs scored. Calderon had a homer and 2 walks, but I'm kind of leaning to Jose DeLeon. 8 innings pitched, only 1 run. He just shut down the Royals big time. His one mistake pitch, the home run to by Balboni. Other than that, he'd have a 2-hit shutout. So, Jose DeLeon, your player of the game. Player of the game. Yeah, it's a little bit harder to show the score sheets in the third. Yeah, I guess I could try that, but I'd want to be able to cover them up somehow so it doesn't show the other 3. So maybe maybe I could do something like this. I don't know. Maybe I could do something like that. But then it shows the rest of the thing, so it kind of gives it away. So it's kind of hard to do it with just the score sheet because it's going to give away the rest of the things. So that's what makes it tough to do it that way. So anyway, we'll figure something out. So it's early in the progress, so everything, modifications can certainly be made. So that completes all the games of April 9th. All the teams switch over on April the 10th and get new opponents. And the game on April the 10th will be the California Angels at the Oakland A's. And Dave Stewart will get the start in that game for the Oakland A's. He gets his first start of the season. California 1-2, so are the A's. So one of those teams will make it back to 500. The other one will fall to 1-3, and they could be falling behind the White Sox, which is very, very surprising since the White Sox were a bottom feeder in 1987. But it's only been 3 games, so anything can happen and probably will. You never know. Strat-O-Matic, anything with these dice, you never know what's going to turn out. But anyway, I do appreciate you spending part of your Wednesday night with me. Next video on the channel, I'm going to be playing the April 10th games offline on Thursday and Friday. So on Saturday, we have the NBC game of the week. It's going to be the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the New York Mets in Shea Stadium. That will be the NBC game of the week at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And then probably on Sunday, we'll be looking at the April 10th game on video, which will be California at Oakland. So let's see the pitching matchups. Let me get that. I know it's Stewart for the A's. I'm trying to remember who it is for the Angels. I need to look at their score sheet from the previous game and see who the next one in line is. Let's see here. Sutton. Kurt McCaskill against. It's going to be Kurt McCaskill against Dave Stewart. That'll be the pitching matchup on the 10th in Oakland, the Oakland Coliseum. All right, so again, thank you all for spending part of your Wednesday night with me. Again, next video on the channel will be the game of the week on Saturday from Shea Stadium, 1973 Strat-O-Matic pennant race. And I can tell you, I've simmed the games up to that Saturday. Pittsburgh has now taken a half-game lead over the Cardinals. Pittsburgh does not play on Saturday. The Cardinals play the Mets. So if the Cardinals beat the Mets, we'll be a dead-even tie. So it's a very important game in Shea Stadium. And I know RJL will be checking that out because he loves his Mets. So that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing every game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.